Hey Internet, Eric here. Welcome, I guess you would say, to the final edition of Stephen King September. What that is all through this year, unless I have a live stream planned, every single month has a theme, and that theme is the specific type of movies I'm going to discuss. September, Stephen King September. Nothing but Stephen King movies, Stephen King related movies is going to be discussed on the channel. And I know I had a longer list, some movies and ideas that I really wanted to discuss, and just time gets away. But I was having a conversation with my buddy Mike over at American Werewolf in New Jersey, and we're not really big fans of the original Children of the Corn. I have discussed that. That is in the Stephen King playlist. And Mike once said he wished that the hundreds of fucking Children of the Corn movies were loyal, or were more loyal and faithful to the short story. I found out in 2009 the Sci-Fi Channel did make one that was more loyal to the source material. Today I'm going to discuss 2009's Children of the Corn. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes, what have you. Basic plot of this: we are following Vicky and her husband. Can't think of his name off the top of my head. I'm terrible at this. Anyways, they are going cross country. They are trying to take a second honeymoon because their marriage is failing miserably. And they're going through the town of Gatelin, Nebraska. It's nothing but cornfields. And what happens is they accidentally run over a small child who is already covering his throat due to his neck being sliced. As they wrap him up, put him in their trunk to try to take him to the police station or a hospital or something, they end up going through Gatelin, Nebraska, and they find out that it is a town that there's nothing but children there. All adults are considered sinners. All adults have been murdered due to the words of a man named, or not a man, a young boy named Isaac, who hears, I guess you would say, voices from God, and their God, he who walks behind the rose, corn God, some fucking thing. I don't know. It's Stephen King. Thanks to his words and his orders and his number one muscle, I guess you would say Malachi, they kill any adults that are that go through, that interfere with their preaching, and Vicky and her husband are next in line. That's the basic gist of this. I don't know, man. This was tough. Okay, the main reason why I say this is tough is the two leads. Again, I can't think. What is his name? The lead actress who plays Vicky, she does okay. What is his name? Where is Bert? Thank you, Bert and Vicky. They're not bad actors. I've seen Vicky before in the Carrie 2002 TV movie. She played Sue Snell. She's okay in here. And the guy who plays Bert, like, this takes place in the early 70s. Bert has already had a tour of duty in the Vietnam War. Vicky obviously does not like what some of the soldiers did in the Vietnam War. And they're really good at what their characters need to do, and that is hate each other. But the problem is they go so hardcore with their hate for each other. It really irks me. It really grinds my teeth. I'm just like, I gotta follow these people for fucking 90 minutes, and I don't want to. And I get it. That's what happens when a marriage fails and you're at each other's throats and you just talk so much shit to each other. They do so good. They do so well at their jobs, but I think they maybe do too good of a job, if that makes sense. So I'm not a big fan of Bert and Vicky here. I don't want them to die, but I'm not a big fan of Bert and Vicky here. The kid who plays Isaac, he's not as creepy as the original Isaac from the 1984 movie, and I can't take him seriously. Yeah, and the reason why, it's not because he's a bad actor. He's just there to quote some Bible verses and threaten people who piss off he who walks behind the rose. The problem is, I appreciate the fact that they got kids. I do know that the person who played Isaac in the original, he was an adult with some, I don't know if it was a form of dwarfism or not, but this is the kid. What the fuck? Look, even Wikipedia don't want me talking about it. This is the kid. This is Isaac. He looks like with that big hat, he looks like what happened if you took an Amish person, shaved him clean, and threw them in the spin dryer on high heat, Gremlins reference, and he shrunk. He's so small with this big ass fucking hat and these clothes. I can't take him serious. He's not intimidating. He's not scary. He's not even really creepy. So poor casting on that when it comes to this, the leader of a cult. You have to at least be intimidated by this character, because why else would all these kids be listening to him? The actor who plays Malachi is intimidating, is scary. He seems more dangerous to me than Courtney Gaines was in the first movie, the original movie. I think that's because he doesn't have that much dialogue. He just looks mean. Yeah, so I think I prefer this Malachi. There's a couple other kids that are just there. There's one kid that's really fucking annoying, because he talks like this and everything. You know how widow kids talk, the L's or W's, and they talk like this. And he's starting to see visions of he who walks behind the walls. And I can't take these kids seriously because of just the way they come out, they're performed. So acting is hit and miss. There are some good scenes in this, though. There are some really good scenes. There's a scene where Bert is investigating the church, and he makes Vicky wait out in the car. And while Vicky's wait out in the car, this whole swarm of kids comes, and they literally circle the car. They have their weapons drawn. They jump on the car. They're stomping the roof. They're busting through the windshield. She's screaming, and then they take her, and the car blows up. That's a great scene. There's a really cool scene, and I appreciated, like, they keep bringing up that Bert was, he just got home from a tour of the Vietnam War. Well, while he's looking for Vicky, he's going through the corn, trying to go this way, trying to go that way, as the fucking psycho kids are chasing him. And he's having flashbacks of being back in the jungle in Vietnam. He is seeing the Viet Cong shooting at him. You hear the gunfire, the explosions, this and that, and the way this actor who looks like he's scared and paranoid, like he's back in the shit, I buy this. He's taking out kids left and right, but we see the Viet Cong being pulled out. Sadly, we do see one Viet Cong being taken away, and then it flashes to Bert holding the dead body of one of the children. And it with the kid who talked like this, you know what I mean? So Bert has to deal with that. I mentioned spoilers. This is like the source material, so this is a spoiler for the short story too. He finally goes to, I guess you'd say, their meeting area. You know what I mean? Where they have all their meetings, whatever, fuck it. And he sees like the skeleton. We've seen it in the first one, the skeleton of the policeman. He's crucified to a cornstalk, and he's a skeleton. And then he finds Vicky. Vicky has been brutally killed. Cornstalk shoved in her eyes. She's just laying there, and he freaks out. Then he runs away, and this is where we get the confrontation with he who walks behind the rose. It's tough. The original movie, what we did see was garbage. We saw like a Tremors tunnel going through the dirt, like, Bugs Bunny taking the wrong turn at Albuquerque. And then when he who walks behind the rose is defeated, I guess you would say, we see this gigantic cloud with a cloud with a frowny face, moaning. It's like a giant fart cloud. I always call it that. And then we have this really shit ending. Bert and Vicky in the original save two kids. When somebody pops out of a car, they slam the car door and then they walk away. Stupid. This, on the other hand, we don't get to see the fart cloud, which is a bonus. But we don't get to see much of he who walks behind the rose at all. We get to see some corn stalks, like not the actual corn itself, but the actual stalks, the green parts, the leaves, whatever the fuck you want to call them. They are stretching from here to there, wrapping they're wrapping around Bert's legs and pulling them here and there. We see a little bit of the camera going, so there's something out there. And we don't see he who walks behind the rose. We literally just have a close-up of Bert yelling towards the camera as the camera zooms down his mouth. Is less is more better in this situation? I guess, you know what I mean? Smaller budget, I think, than the original. We don't see the fart cloud. It's not defeated, so I can appreciate that. So I guess I'm going to go with this version. It's not that bad. The gore isn't bad. We get some, again, neck slices. The kids are shot. We see people shot up. We see the aftermath of both Bert and Vicky. You know, corn stalks, crucified, all that stuff. It's pretty brutal, you know, especially with this having to do with children and children's deaths. So there's a scene where Bert's fighting the kids in the alley, and I think he grabs a kid's wrist and breaks it, so we get a compound fracture. That's fucking gross. So we do get some good gore and some good violence. Uh, and then we get the ending that Mike really liked, because apparently, once every kid turns 19, they have to sacrifice themselves. They have to walk into the corn, and he who walks behind the rows eats them, takes their souls, kills them, some fucking thing. Well, because they fucked up, and he had to kill Bert himself. I'm talking about the corn god. He changes the age from 19 to 18. So now Isaac, with a girlfriend who is pregnant, he now has to sacrifice himself. And then the ending is really fucking dumb. He sacrifices himself. This is a post credits thing. He sacrifices himself, and she has visions of burning the corn down. So we get little fucking miniature Amish dude. We get little Isaac looking right at her like he knows something's up. Again, if it wasn't a fucking 6-year-old, that might be intimidating, but it's not. Yeah, so do I recommend this one? Kind of. Um, there's like this is like the 8th film I think in the series. It's not that bad. I appreciated that they wanted to be more close to the source material. I appreciate the fact that Greg and Vicky do not survive. Um, Less is more with the corn god, I guess you would say, because there's no fart cloud. But the problem is, I don't give two shits about this Isaac. I'm not scared by him. The baby, or the kid who has the baby talk, I don't give a shit about him. Malachi is good. Malachi is intimidating and scary, but there's not enough of him for me. So, and again, the actor and actress who plays Bert and Vicky, they do such a good job at just being a couple that absolutely despises each other. I get tired of them really, really quick. So, it's worth a watch, but it's not worth a revisit, I guess you would say. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment below. Have you seen this one? Do you prefer this one over the original? Do you not give two shits? Thank you to everyone who has been a part of Stephen King September. Um, it's been a lot of fun. There's been Children of the Corn remakes, and then there's been some really fucking stinkers, but also some really good ones. Please check out the playlist. I think the best ones off the top of my head were Stand By Me, Long Walk, hands down. Long Walk, one of the best movies I've ever seen in a long, long time. Coming up in October, I have switched the idea. It's not going to be 00 October, because if you've seen a lot of my posts, I'm super, super busy. There's stuff going on outside behind the scenes. I'm kind of just blah with the channel. So I won't have as much focus, which is needed for 007 movies, James Bond. So I'm going to change it. I'll put up a short on the 1st to explain what it is. Apologies to anyone looking forward to the Mickey Knuckles interview. It will happen. She's got a lot of stuff going on in her life as well. It will be rescheduled. I literally talked to her today as of this recording. But I still got Insane Lane. I still got Jewel Denial, Beatrice Bopel, Adam Marcus, Lauren Marie Taylor. I still got some good interviews coming soon. Yeah, so thank you for watching. All that jazz. Cheers. Check this one out. It's not that horrible. At least there's no fart cloud. Cheers.